What kind of person sleeps on the floor of an office, eats cheap food for weeks, and risks everything he has to build a future no one believes in? What kind of person looks at Earth and says, "This is not enough"? He wants to send humans to Mars, not in a movie, not in a dream, in real life. Most people want a safe job, a stable life, a quiet future. He wanted rockets. He wanted electric cars. He wanted to change how humans live. Many people laughed at him. They said he was crazy. They said it was impossible. Rockets fail, companies fail, people fail, and he failed too. Again and again. At one point, he almost lost everything: his money, his companies, his reputation. One more failure and it was over. But he did not stop. This story is not just about success. It is not just about money. It is not just about technology. This is a story about risk, about fear, about vision. It is a story about a boy who grew up feeling different, thinking differently, and refusing to live a normal life. Some people call him a genius. Some people call him dangerous. Some people love him. Some people hate him. But no one can ignore him, because when he speaks, markets move. When he decides, industries change. And when he dreams, the future listens. This is the life story of a man who did not wait for permission, who did not follow the rules, who did not choose comfort. This is the story of Elon Musk. And as you listen, you will not only practice your English, you may start asking yourself a dangerous question. What if the life you want is bigger than the life you are living now? He was born far from Silicon Valley, far from rockets, far from power. He was born in South Africa. The place was beautiful, but life was not easy. His childhood was not warm. It was not safe. It was not simple. He was a quiet child. He spent a lot of time alone. He liked to think. He liked to imagine. Other children played together. He stayed with books. He read for hours. Science books, history books, stories about the future. Books were his escape. At school, he felt different. He did not fit in. He did not talk much. He did not fight back. Some children bullied him. They pushed him. They laughed at him. They hurt him. He felt small. He felt weak. But inside his mind, something strong was growing. He asked questions, big questions. Why is the world this way? Why can't we build something better? Why do people accept limits? Most adults did not like these questions. They sounded dangerous. They sounded unrealistic. But he did not stop asking. At home, life was hard too. His parents argued. The house felt cold. He did not feel understood. So he went back to books, again and again. When he was very young, he discovered computers. This changed everything. The computer did not judge him. It did not bully him. It followed logic. If he learned the rules, the computer listened. He taught himself to code. No teacher, no class, just curiosity. At the age of 12, he created a small video game. He sold it. He made money. Not much, but enough to feel something new. Control. For the first time, his ideas became real. That feeling stayed with him. As he grew older, his world felt smaller. South Africa felt like a cage, not because of the country, but because of the future. He wanted more. He wanted freedom. He wanted opportunity. He looked at America. To him, America was not a place, it was an idea. A place where ideas could grow, where dreams could become companies, where failure was allowed. But getting there was not easy. He did not have power. He did not have connections. So he chose another path. He moved to Canada, not because it was perfect, but because it was possible. He was young. He was alone. He had almost no money. He lived with relatives. He worked small jobs, cleaning, fixing, lifting heavy things. The work was hard. The pay was low, but he did not complain. Every job was a step forward. He knew why he was there. Canada was not the dream. It was the bridge. From Canada, he could reach the United States. From Canada, he could move closer to his future. Later, he went to school. He studied physics. He studied economics. Not because they were easy, because they explained the world. Physics taught him how things work. Economics taught him how systems move. Together, they gave him a new way to think. He was not interested in small goals. He did not dream of a normal career. He thought about big problems: energy, transportation, space. Most students worried about grades. He worried about humanity. Still, life was not comfortable. He lived simply. He saved money. He focused. While others enjoyed college life, he prepared. He knew something important. If he stayed comfortable, nothing would change. So he kept moving. Finally, he crossed into the United States. This was the place he imagined. But it was not easy. America did not welcome him with open arms. It tested him. Money was tight, pressure was high, but he felt alive, because now he was closer than ever, closer to building, closer to failing, closer to trying. He did not know what would happen next. He did not have a clear plan, but he had something stronger: belief. Belief that the future could be built. Belief that limits were optional. Belief that one person could matter. This belief came from pain, from loneliness, from struggle, and it was only getting stronger. His journey had just begun. When he finally reached the United States, he felt close to the future he imagined. But dreams do not pay rent, and ideas do not bring comfort. Life was still hard. He entered Stanford University. It was one of the best schools in the world. Most people would feel proud. Most people would stay. He stayed for 2 days. 2 days. Then he left. Not because he failed, not because he was lazy, because he felt something urgent. The internet was growing fast. The world was changing. If he stayed in school, he would be late. So he made a dangerous decision. He dropped out. No safety net, no guarantee. Only belief. Together with his brother, he started a small company called Zip2. They had an idea: help newspapers move online, help businesses appear on digital maps. Today, this sounds normal. Back then, it sounded strange. No one trusted the internet. No one believed it could make money. They worked day and night. They had no office. They slept on the floor. They showered at public gyms. They used one computer. Money was tight. Sometimes they could only afford one meal. But they continued. Fail, learn, continue. Investors did not listen at first. Meetings ended quickly. Doors closed. But he kept explaining, again and again. Slowly, someone listened. Zip2 began to grow. Finally, a big company bought Zip2. He was still very young, and suddenly, he was rich. A millionaire. Most people would stop here. They would relax. They would enjoy life. He did not. Money did not calm him. It challenged him. He saw a bigger problem. Banking was slow. Payments were complicated. Money could not move freely. So he started again. He joined a new company. Then he took control. It became PayPal. The idea was simple: send money through the internet. Fast, easy. But the process was not simple. The team argued, the technology failed. Hackers attacked. He worked nonstop, long hours, short sleep. His leadership style was intense. Some people liked it, some people hated it. He pushed everyone hard, including himself. At one point, the company almost collapsed. Internal fights, external pressure. Even the board tried to remove him, and they did. While he was on a trip, he lost his position as CEO. Most people would feel broken, angry, defeated. He felt disappointed, but he did not quit. He stayed focused on the mission. He stayed involved. PayPal survived. Then it grew fast. Soon, a big company bought PayPal. The deal was massive. He became extremely wealthy. Millions turned into hundreds of millions. Again, most people would stop here. They would protect their money. They would choose comfort. He chose risk. He asked a dangerous question. What problem should I solve next? He looked at the future. Energy was dirty. Space was expensive. Everyone said, "These problems are too big." He smiled. Big problems excited him. But at this moment, no one knew what was coming. People thought his story was finished. They thought PayPal was the end. They were wrong, because money was never the goal. Impact was. And with PayPal behind him, he was about to make the most dangerous decisions of his life. Decisions that would almost destroy him, and decisions that would change history. After PayPal, he did not slow down. He did not celebrate for long. He looked forward. Most people saw money. He saw responsibility. He asked himself a question that few people ask. What problems will matter in 50 years? Two answers came clearly: energy and space. At that time, electric cars were a joke. Slow, ugly, weak. Rockets were even worse. Only governments could build them. They were expensive. They failed often. People said, these industries are impossible to change. That made him interested. He invested his own money, not a small amount, almost everything he had. First, SpaceX. His goal was simple to say, but almost impossible to do. Build cheaper rockets, make space travel reusable, take humans to Mars. Experts laughed, engineers doubted, investors stayed away. He did not care. He learned rocket science by reading, by asking questions, by pushing engineers. Failures came quickly. The first rocket failed, it exploded. The second rocket failed, another explosion. The third rocket failed, money burned, hope disappeared. 3 failures in a row. His money was almost gone. His reputation was damaged. One more failure and SpaceX would die. At the same time, another battle was happening. Tesla. Tesla was not his idea at first, but he saw its potential. Gas cars polluted the planet. Oil controlled politics. Electric cars could change everything. But Tesla was struggling. The technology was expensive. The company was small. The pressure was huge. He became deeply involved. He pushed for speed. He pushed for quality. The team was tired. The stress was extreme. Money was disappearing fast. Then 2008 arrived, the global financial crisis. Banks failed, companies collapsed, Tesla was close to bankruptcy. SpaceX was close to collapse. He had to choose, save one company, lose the other. Instead, he risked everything. He put his last money into both. Friends told him to stop. Investors warned him. He ignored them. This was not logic. This was belief. The fourth rocket launch came. If it failed, everything was over. The rocket launched, it flew, it reached orbit. Success. SpaceX survived. Soon after, Tesla secured emergency funding. The company lived. These moments changed everything. Suddenly, people stopped laughing. NASA trusted SpaceX. Governments signed contracts. Tesla released new cars. People started paying attention. The cars were fast. They were beautiful. They were electric. A new idea was born. Electric could be better. He worked like a machine, sometimes sleeping on the factory floor, sometimes working all night. He demanded excellence from others, from himself. Many people quit. Many stayed. The companies grew. Factories expanded. Rockets landed themselves. Cars drove themselves. What was impossible became normal. But the cost was high. Long hours, stress, broken relationships. He accepted the cost because in his mind, the mission mattered more. Save the planet, protect humanity, build the future. Tesla changed transportation. SpaceX changed space travel. And he stood in the middle, not as a businessman, not as a celebrity, but as a builder. Still, success brought new problems. More attention, more criticism, more pressure. The world watched every move. And the higher he climbed, the harder the fall could be. The empire was built, but the story was far from over, because with power comes chaos, and the next challenges would test him in new ways. Behind the factories and rockets, there was a private life, and it was not simple. He worked all the time, long days, long nights. Work was not something he did. Work was who he was. This made relationships difficult. He married young. He hoped for balance. He hoped for understanding. But balance was hard to find. His mind was always somewhere else, in the future, in a problem, in a deadline. Love needs time, and time was what he never had. The marriage ended. It hurt more than he expected. Not because of public attention, but because failure followed him home. Soon, another relationship began, then another marriage, then another ending. People judged him. The media talked. Strangers formed opinions. But inside, he felt confused. He wanted connection. He wanted family. He wanted stability. Yet his work pulled him away. He had children, many children. Becoming a father changed him. When he held his child, the world slowed down. For a moment, rockets did not matter. Cars did not matter. Only life. But moments passed quickly. Work always returned. He tried to be present. Sometimes he succeeded. Sometimes he failed. Guilt followed him everywhere. He wondered if he was doing enough. He wondered what kind of example he was setting. He believed the future mattered, but the present mattered too. This conflict never left him. Some partners understood him. Some did not. One relationship became very public, very unusual, very misunderstood. People talked about age, about personality, about differences. They did not see the private moments, the conversations, the shared curiosity. They only saw headlines. He learned something painful. Fame does not protect privacy, it destroys it. Every decision became public. Every mistake became news. This pressure followed him everywhere, at home, at work, online. His personal life became part of his image. Some admired him, some attacked him. Very few tried to understand him. He was often described as cold, as distant, as difficult. But those close to him saw something else. They saw intensity. They saw focus. They saw exhaustion. He did not relax easily. He did not disconnect. Even during family time, his mind worked. Problems never slept. He pushed himself beyond limits, physically, mentally. This led to moments of darkness, loneliness, stress, burnout. He spoke openly about pain, about pressure, about mental health. Some respected this honesty, others criticized it. But he did not hide. He believed truth mattered. His personal life was not a fairy tale. It was messy. It was imperfect, just like him. He loved deeply. He worked obsessively. He made mistakes, many mistakes. He learned that success does not solve everything. Money does not fix loneliness. Power does not guarantee happiness. Yet he did not regret his path, because regret meant stopping, and stopping felt worse. He accepted his flaws, slowly. He accepted that he could not be everything to everyone. He focused on what he could give: vision, effort, honesty. His children became his anchor, a reminder of why the future mattered. He thought about the world they would live in, the air they would breathe, the planet they would inherit. This made his mission personal, not just about technology, not just about progress, about survival, about hope. His personal life remained complicated. It still is. Relationships came and went. Public attention never stopped. But one thing became clear. He was human, not a hero, not a villain, a man driven by curiosity, by fear, by hope, trying to balance love and ambition, family and future, sometimes failing, sometimes learning. And through it all, he continued moving forward, because for him, standing still was never an option. As his influence grew, so did the challenges. Success did not make life easier, it made it louder. Every decision was watched. Every word was shared. Every mistake became global news. He was no longer just a builder. He was a symbol, and symbols attract conflict. The hardest year came quietly, then all at once. In 2008, everything was falling apart. SpaceX had failed again and again. Tesla was bleeding money. The global economy was collapsing. Banks were closing. Jobs were disappearing. Fear was everywhere. His companies were days from bankruptcy. Days. He had no safety net left, no backup plan. Friends told him to give up one company, save the other. He refused. He put his last money into both. At the same time, his personal life was breaking. Stress consumed him. Sleep disappeared. Hope felt fragile. He later said this was the worst period of his life. But then, against all odds, things turned. SpaceX succeeded. Tesla survived. The world saw a miracle, but they did not see the cost. The cost was years of pressure stored inside his body. As time passed, new challenges appeared. Success brought attention. Attention brought criticism. He spoke openly, sometimes too openly. Social media became his voice. Twitter, a place where thoughts travel fast, where words cannot be taken back. He liked Twitter because it was direct, no filters, no middlemen. He could speak to the world in real time. Sometimes this helped. Sometimes it hurt. His tweets moved markets, changed stock prices, created chaos. People asked, why does he tweet like this? The answer was simple. He did not want control. He wanted honesty. But honesty is dangerous online. Jokes became scandals. Opinions became weapons. He made jokes about serious topics. He criticized powerful people. He challenged rules. Governments noticed. Regulators reacted. Lawsuits followed. Some said he was reckless. Some said he was brave. He did not fit the role of a traditional leader. He refused to be quiet. Then came the biggest move. He decided to buy Twitter. Not invest, not influence. Buy. Many people thought it was a joke. Then they realized it was real. The price was huge. The risk was massive. Why would he do this? Because he believed speech mattered. He believed conversation shapes society. He believed platforms control narratives, and he wanted change. When the deal closed, chaos followed. Employees were fired. Policies changed. The platform was renamed. Twitter became X. The world reacted strongly. Some celebrated. Some protested. Advertisers left. Criticism exploded. He became more controversial than ever. Every action was questioned. Why did he do this? Why so fast? Why so extreme? Because he believes speed matters. He believes slow systems die. This approach worked in engineering, but social systems are different. People are emotional. Words hurt. He learned this the hard way. Mistakes happened. Confusion grew. Still, he continued, because stopping meant fear, and fear was something he refused to obey. He spoke about free speech, about truth, about responsibility. Some listened. Some attacked. The pressure was relentless. Media pressure, political pressure, public pressure. Yet he stayed visible. He did not hide. He did not disappear. He accepted the consequences. This period showed something important. Building machines is hard, but building trust is harder. Technology can be fixed. People are complex. He faced criticism not just as a CEO, but as a person. His tone, his jokes, his beliefs, everything became public. Still, through the noise, one thing remained clear. He does not fear controversy. He fears silence. He fears systems that stop ideas. He fears futures decided by few voices. Whether people agree or not, his actions force conversation, and conversation shapes change. This chapter of his life is not about success or failure. It is about risk. Risking reputation, risking money, risking comfort, to challenge how information moves. The story is still unfolding. The outcome is not clear, but one thing is certain. He did not choose the safe path. He chose the loud one, the dangerous one, and once again, he placed himself in the middle of the storm, because that's where change begins. When he talks about the future, his voice changes. It becomes slower, more serious, more focused, because for him, the future is not abstract. It is urgent. He believes humanity is fragile. One planet, one home, too many risks, too many unknowns. Climate change, artificial intelligence, global conflict, asteroids, pandemics. He does not say this to scare people. He says it because he thinks about it every day. His vision for the future has one core idea. Humanity must survive. Not just survive, but grow. This is why Mars matters to him. Not because it is exciting, not because it is famous, because it is a backup, a second home. He believes a multi-planet species has a better chance to live long. SpaceX is not about rockets. It is about time. Time for humanity. Reusable rockets reduce cost. Lower cost increases access. Access makes space possible. Mars is far. Mars is dangerous. Mars is unforgiving. But he believes difficulty is not a reason to stop. It is a reason to start early. He imagines cities on Mars, glass domes, green plants, human life. Not tomorrow, not next year, but one day. He knows many people laugh at this idea. They always have. But he has seen this before. People laughed at electric cars. People laughed at reusable rockets. Now those ideas are real. The future also lives inside the human body. This is where Neuralink enters the story. The brain is complex, fragile, powerful. Millions of people suffer from brain damage, paralysis, neurological disease. Neuralink aims to connect the brain to machines, to restore movement, to restore communication. He believes technology can help people speak again, move again, live again. This is not science fiction to him. It is engineering, careful, slow, risky. He knows the dangers. He knows the ethics matter. He often says, "We must be careful." The same concern appears with artificial intelligence. AI is powerful, fast, learning. It can help humanity. It can harm it. He warns about uncontrolled AI, about systems that move faster than human values. He supports regulation, not to stop progress, but to guide it. This surprises people. They expect him to push speed, to ignore caution, but his vision includes limits, not limits to creativity, limits to destruction. He believes intelligence should serve humanity, not replace it, not dominate it. The future is not just technology, it is energy. He believes clean energy is essential. Solar power, battery storage, sustainable systems. Tesla is not just about cars, it is about an ecosystem. Energy production, energy storage, energy use. He imagines a world where cities are quiet, air is clean, power is renewable. This future is not perfect, but it is better. He often talks about first principles, breaking problems down, ignoring tradition, asking basic questions. Why do we do this? Can it be simpler? Can it be better? This thinking shapes his vision. The future should not copy the past, it should improve it. But his vision is not only global, it is personal. He thinks about his children, the world they will inherit, the choices they will face. He does not want them to live in fear. He wants them to live with possibility. This is why he pushes so hard, why he works so much. Not for comfort, not for legacy, for impact. He knows the future will judge him. He accepts that. Some projects will fail, some ideas will be wrong, but he believes in trying. Because the biggest risk is doing nothing. Waiting feels safe, but it is dangerous. The future does not wait. It is built, decision by decision, action by action. His vision is not about control. It is about responsibility. If you have the ability to help, you should try, even if you fail, even if people criticize you, because the future belongs to those who build it. And as long as humanity faces risk, he will keep asking the same question: what can we do next? When you look at his life, it is easy to focus on the results, the companies, the money, the headlines. But that is not the real story. The real story is not about rockets or cars. It is about choices. Again and again, He chose the harder path. He chose uncertainty over comfort. He chose long-term vision over short-term reward. He chose responsibility over safety. And none of this was guaranteed. He failed many times, publicly, painfully. He lost money. He lost support. He lost people. There were moments when everything was close to ending, but he did not stop, not because he was fearless, but because fear did not decide for him. This is the lesson. Success is not the absence of fear. It is the ability to move with fear. Many people wait. They wait for confidence. They wait for permission. They wait for the perfect moment. That moment rarely comes. If he had waited, there would be no SpaceX, no Tesla, no future plans for Mars. Waiting feels safe, but it slowly closes doors. He acted before he felt ready. He learned while moving. That is how progress happens. Another lesson is this: money is a tool, not a purpose. He used money to build, to experiment, to take risks. He did not use it to hide. Money followed impact, not the other way around. If you chase money alone, you may feel empty. If you chase meaning, money often finds you. His life also teaches something uncomfortable. Being different is lonely. Thinking ahead means standing alone. Questioning systems means conflict. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will support you. And that is okay. You do not need approval from everyone. You need alignment with yourself. Another important lesson is resilience. He did not win because he was lucky. He won because he continued. Fail, learn, continue. This pattern appears again and again, not just in business, in life. Language learning is the same. You will fail. You will forget words. You will feel slow. That does not mean you are bad at English. It means you are learning. Progress is quiet. It happens in repetition, in patience, just like building rockets, just like building companies. And finally, there is one lesson above all. The future is built by people who care, not people who complain, not people who wait, people who try. You do not need to be rich. You do not need to be famous. You need curiosity. You need discipline. You need courage. Courage to ask questions. Courage to start small. Courage to continue when it feels hard. Elon Musk's life is not a perfect model. He is not perfect. No one is. But his story shows what is possible when vision meets effort. And now this story comes back to you. Your life may look different. Your goals may be smaller, or maybe they are bigger, but the principle is the same. Do not wait for confidence. Build it. Do not fear mistakes. Use them. Do not follow the crowd blindly. Think for yourself. And when it comes to learning English, remember this: you are not late. You are not weak. You are practicing. You are improving. Every time you listen, every time you repeat, every time you continue, you are building something, slowly, naturally. If this story helped you, if it gave you motivation, if it made you think, stay with us. Subscribe to the channel. More stories are coming. Stories about people who struggled, people who failed, people who changed the world. And while you listen, your English will grow, one story at a time.